this barbershop show with LeBron, there were so many idiotic things said. I mean, there were a plethora. Everyone's focusing on the thing he said about Brittney Griner. But there were a plethora of idiotic statements on this. We won't focus on the Brittney Griner statement. LeBron saying that if he was Brittney Griner, he would be questioning if he even wanted to come back to America. A guy who does not know who his father is. We have to start there. No one ever talks about it because, I mean, I get it. Like, it's bizarre. At 37, 19 years in the league, the most famous athlete in all of America from the first day he stepped on the NBA court. We don't know who his father is. He doesn't know who his father is. That is the elephant. That is a neon elephant in the room. And listen, I didn't meet my father till I was 15. I've only been in the room with him maybe 4 times since then. I'm not clowning him for that. What I'm saying is that what country do you what country are you worth $1 billion when you got a high school diploma and you never met your father? I met my father. He does not know who his father is. He has a high school diploma. He's a solid dude as a friend. I'll give him that. His friendship meter is on 5,000. If we were on NBA Live and they had a friendship loyalty meter up from like 0 to 100 like they do, his would be on 5,000. He's a great friend. If you one of his day ones, he's the solidest dude ever in NBA history when it comes to that. Ever. I don't know anybody solid as him. Athlete to his friends. However, where does a guy who doesn't know who his father is, born to a teen mom, I think his mom was 16 when she had him, he has a high school diploma, that's all he has, and he's worth $1 billion almost. For him to say that is just so disrespectful that he's questioning whether Brittney Griner, if he was Brittney Griner, he'd be questioning if he'd ever come back. Listen, I will say this though. If LeBron, and this is another thing, he's never been in trouble. He would never do what Brittney Griner did. He would never do that. He just doesn't. He's not that type of guy. He don't smoke weed. He don't use vapes. He would never get caught like she did. Because of the decisions he makes. He's never even, I don't ever, what's the LeBron James controversy? That his teammate, Delonte West, was sleeping with his mom? That he left Cleveland to go to Miami? Like, there's no controversy. There's no scandal. Why does he say that? He can't say that. That's not woke. The decisions he makes, he would never be in that position.
As we told you at the top of the hour, WNBA star Brittney Griner has pleaded guilty to drug charges today, believed to be a move to try to speed up a potential prisoner exchange. So who would be exchanged for her freedom? Russian state media has speculated that the Kremlin might be interested in this guy, a prisoner swap that would free Victor Bout. He's a convicted arms dealer serving a 25-year sentence right now in the U.S. But who is he? Like, How did he end up in federal prison? Why is he called the Merchant of Death?
Let's just stop it right there. Under no circumstances do I think that we should trade Brittney Griner for the Merchant of Death. Now, maybe the panhandler of death or the bootlegger of destruction or somebody like that, but not the Merchant of Death. This is a huge mistake. I mean, a huge mistake. If you're familiar with U.S. history with these type of guys, whenever they let them go, it always strikes us, always bites us in the butt. These guys, this is what they do. They're out to kill Americans. And he's been locked up for all these years, and it's just, his hatred for America has just been stewing and brewing like dumpster sludge, just petrifying, bubbling, and just like a cauldron. And when we let him go, he's going to strike back, and he's going to get us back, and he's going to do what he did to earn that name. I mean, this guy's, he's the Merchant of Death. Listen, man, I know some dudes with some nicknames that didn't deserve it. But most dudes, if you go to a Sun community and it's a dude named Killer, he done put some work in. They not just gonna give you some brother in the hood the nickname Killer, and he ain't put no work in. Okay? Or Playboy, and he ain't got no girls. So that should let you know, if this guy is known on the world stage, in the underworld, as the Merchant of Death, with all the bad guys that's out there in the world, he the one they call the Merchant of Death. We got him. He's off the streets. Hey everybody, we got the Merchant of Death. Woo! Thank God. Well, we about to let him go for WNBA player who tried to smuggle drugs in a Russian airport.
Russian state media has speculated that the Kremlin might be interested in this guy, a prisoner swap that would free Viktor Bout. He's a convicted arms dealer serving a 25-year sentence right now in the U.S. But who is he? How did he end up in federal prison? Why is he called the Merchant of Death? We've got the context check. Inside this medium security prison in Illinois sits convicted Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout, allegedly one of the most prolific arms dealers in the world. Born in Tajikistan in 1976, then under Soviet control, Bout is the son of an auto mechanic and a bookkeeper. He studied English, becoming a Soviet military translator, and then an international air transporter after the fall of the Soviet Union, telling the New Yorker, "I did nothing in my mind that qualifies as a crime," adding, "Sure, I was doing transportation of arms, but it was occasionally."
He didn't do nothing, y'all. Hey, everybody. False alarm, man. We don't even got to trade him for Brittney Griner. Just let him go on his own volition. PR him. Personal recognizance. He didn't do nothing, y'all. It's a big mistake, man. We got a glider, a Gindu. His only crime is driving while rushing. He got caught driving while rushing. Russian lives matter, man. We gotta free him, man. The Russians school to prison pipeline, man. That's what happened here, man. Because according to him, he didn't do nothing, man. So, I mean, dang, man. Technically, man. See, Brittney, we don't need... This is messed it up for you, Brittney. He didn't even do nothing. So, we should just let him go, man. Like Pookie and Ray Ray. You know, like we let Pookie and Ray Ray go every day. When they shoot and kill people and rob people, we should let the merchant of death go, right? I mean, he said he didn't do nothing. It's a big mistake, man.
Telling the New Yorker, I did nothing in my mind that qualifies as a crime. Adding, sure, I was doing transportation of arms, but it was occasionally. Boot became known as the Merchant of Death after a 2005 book about international terrorism wrote a chapter about him using that phrase. That same year, a movie based on his life, starring Nicolas Cage, premiered called Lord of War.
So he has they made a movie about this guy called Lord of War. So, bruh, you got two nicknames. We ain't talking about man, stick man, boo boo. Nah, man, your nicknames is the Merchant of Death and the Lord of War, man. And we supposed to trade. We supposed to trade this guy for a WNBA player, man. I won't be on the record, man. I'm totally against this. If she got to sit over there and do her whole 10 years. Listen, man. To keep this guy... Listen, this guy may be right. You know, he only smuggled... According to him, he only did it occasionally, if you're going to take his word for it. And he has no reason to lie. He only, smuggled arms occasionally, man. And when we talking about arms, we talking about, like, we're not talking about Glocks, okay? We're talking about war. Tanks and missiles. To people hostile to America. Okay? The countries and organizations hostile to America. That's how he made his living. I'm totally against this.
I did.
I'm 1,000% against this. If we had bin Laden in jail and same thing happened in Saudi Arabia and they wanted to trade us for bin Laden back in the 90s or the 80s, I would be totally against that. I'm just totally against, I'm not even, considering this. She's lucky I'm not the president. She's Brittney. I don't know if you can sell phones. Brittney, I don't know if you can sell phones in jail in Russia, man. I don't know, man. Maybe you do. But if you watching, man, you lucky I ain't the president. You lucky I ain't the president. This wouldn't even be on the table. They wouldn't even be talking about this. So, just be happy that I'm not the president, Brittney.
Merchant of Death after a 2005 book about international terrorism wrote a chapter about him using that phrase. That same year, a movie based on his life, starring Nicolas Cage, premiered called Lord of War.
I supply to every army but the Salvation Army.
After years of dodging arrest warrants, Boot was arrested in Thailand during a sting operation in 2008 and brought to the U.S. to face trial.
The so-called Merchant of Death is now a federal inmate.
Boot was sentenced to 25 years behind bars in 2011 for selling weapons to a Colombian terrorist group.
Millions of dollars worth of weapons, including 800 surface-to-air missiles and 30,000 AK-47s.
Yeah, I mean, he might have been right when he said, he didn't do nothing. What's 800 surface-to-air missiles, man? Come on, man, that's nothing, man. There's guys out there selling 8,000 surface-to-air missiles. And 30,000 AK-47s? Who even uses them anymore? Everybody's using the AR-15s, man. Yeah, man, trade this guy. And this is one deal, man. That was the deal he got caught for. That's like me when I used to sell weed, right? One time I got caught, right? The guy set me up. I sold a half a pound, another half a pound, and the third time an ounce. So they got me 3 times before they busted me. Do you know how many half pounds and pounds I sold in my life? You know how much I sold? Like, it would hundreds. But that was the one I got caught for, and I ended up getting convicted and blah, 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 went to jail. That was one. So I want you to think about this when you hear what they're saying about him. This was one deal.
Boot was sentenced to 25 years behind bars in 2011 for selling weapons to a Colombian terrorist group.
Millions of dollars worth of weapons, including 800 surface-to-air missiles and 30,000 AK-47s.
The Kremlin has wanted Boot released for a while, and now his U.S. lawyer says Moscow wants to exchange him for an American held in Russia. That American could be WNBA superstar Brittney Griner, a possibility the Biden administration refuses to talk about, even with some experts suggesting it's not out of reach.
They just recently did a trade to get Trevor Reed out of jail for a Russian criminal, and now the Russians want to repeat that.
A Russian state news agency has reported back in May that talks were underway, they say, between the U.S. and Russia about exchanging Boot for Griner. Nobody in the United States administration has confirmed that or really touched that.